Shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone while I learn this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect out there scattered abroad. Teaching this truth on the four corners of the earth. Risk their lives and freedom to do so. It's the brother Tazamak coming back with a quick lesson. I'm going to call this lesson the abundance of the rich will suffer him not to sleep. Okay. And, this is the mindset and not just, every Babylonian, because in America, that's what everybody chases. That bag, the money dream. But this is how people think around the world. But people think about it more predominantly here because that's what's displayed. And that's what's worshipped. That's what shows you can get the keys to doing anything, in Babylon, having that paper. People say paper, money, whatever. Bag, right? When you got a bag, you can have a booty bouncing around all day. You can have several gorgeous and fine women. You can have cars, houses, basically your heart's desire. If you're in this truth and, you've been studying like we're required to, you'll know that the Lord will give you your heart's desire in due time. Okay, when you get the money and the accolades, women on this side from having a bag, cars, clothing, things of that nature, it's not sincere. It's not real because you can lose all of it, like it says in the scriptures. Okay, the thing is to store up your treasure in heaven. That's the bank account that matters. The main thing that we should be focused on here, and the main reason we're put here, is to teach His word, so that let it get sealed, and so Babylon could be destroyed. The Lord's will. Okay, everything else is gonna come. This paper money doesn't have no real value anyway. It's just some printed out crap that Esau gave you. Real money is gold and silver. When the stock market is tanking, gold and silver shot up. Because those are the real valuables. They at least got a lot of gold and silver hidden. Mountains of it. And I don't know about literally mountains, but they have gold and silver. They understand that's real money. A $100 bill ain't worth nothing. Okay? It's not worth shit. Especially when he's coming, and yet now you can go buy, some clothes or get something to eat. Okay, but coming soon, the dollar's going to crash, and you're going to be converted to this digital system. And then in order for you to chase that bag and do what you need to do to be involved in that digital system, you're going to have to worship the image of the beast, this NWO system, when in reality, you should have been giving your time and you should be worshiping Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The end result is going to be the elect getting delivered and America being destroyed. So everything in between, okay, is BS. If you're not centered and focused on the Lord, everything else is BS. Okay? All it is a temporary forever. Okay, you make $200,000 a year. You got 2-3 big booties bouncing on you every week, whatever. 5 cars, 5 houses, or a house, $200,000 a year, in America. Yeah, you're doing good, but shit, barely. America, the cost of living is so high out here. Okay? I'm going to get some scriptures. I'm going to start off in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs, let me see, 23. In verse 4, labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. Okay, and brothers got to get our daily bread, but we're wise enough to know when, okay, enough is enough. Okay, the Lord's gonna keep us sustained. We're not going to say, I'm about to go start 3 trucking businesses and I'm going to open up a car wash on the side. You're doing too much. You don't need all that. You don't need all of it. The Lord's going to keep you sustained, keep you with some clothing, food, shelter. Is it going to be the nicest of the nicest, the best of the best? No. But you will get it in due time. You got to have faith to believe that. Verse 5. Without set thine eyes upon that which is not, for riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven, because you can have money today. You could be living it up today and lose it tomorrow. I've been there. I've seen it. Okay. I'm gonna go to this next in the book of Ecclesiastes. Okay. So Ecclesiastes. Here we go, right here. So this is Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 12. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will suffer him not to sleep. Okay? Read that again. Ecclesiastes 5 and 12. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep, you know? And when you doing too much, because you can have a regular 9-to-5 job and do all right. Okay, you could do a plumbing, electrician, nursing, whatever. That's not doing too much. You could get adequate rest. But when you try to do it big, like people say, look at this picture. Nigga just worshiping money. All you can think about is getting the bag. You know, you got too much going on. It's gonna be hard for you to even get rest, man. You worried about how you're gonna take care of 5 trucking companies, a car wash, a restaurant. You know what I mean? You gonna be like, man, I'm making $800,000 a year or $2 million a year, but your mind is fried. You can't even function. You know, you got to put your mouth to a bottle and get impaired to be able to move around in reality. You know, my grandfather owned his business and he went crazy a lot of the damn time. Couldn't afford the rent for it. He passed away in the spirit world now, but he had 2 warehouses at the same time, simultaneously. One rent for the warehouse was $10,000, because you got to pay by square foot when it's a building. The other rent for the warehouse was $7,000. Okay, he still had his house payment. Whenever I would see him, damn, it like he had more gray hair. You know, stressed. I went to go visit him at work one day to go talk to him about some things private, and he was talking to me, but you could tell his mind was on the job. He was stressed the hell out. Hey, Gramp, hey, Pop, how you doing? Oh, good, grandson, blah, blah, blah. Doing his thing, stressed out, can't even have a conversation. I'd rather have a job that pays me okay, and I'm able to get by, than have something that's going to stress me the hell out, and I can't even think straight. It's not worth it, you know? And I'm gonna get this next precept. Okay? Because the main thing that we should be focused on, right, is the ministry. Okay, so this is Sirach 43, and I'm going to go to verse 30. When ye glorify the Lord Yahweh, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for you can never go far enough. Now, when you in this ministry, and you put all your strength into this ministry, and you exalt the Lord as much as you can, you're doing your lessons, studying, so on and so forth, right? How are you going to exalt the Lord as much as you can? How are you going to be the best servant you can when you're worried about chasing the bag 24/7? It's going to hinder you from doing the work. How do I know? I've been there. I've been there to where I was like, man, I got to level up, right? There's nothing wrong with leveling up. Great mindset to have, but you got to remember to put Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai first, and you can lose sight of that, as people say, chasing the bag. Okay, you exalt the Lord as much as you can. You put 120% in this truth. You're gonna have everything you want. Everything. You know, guaranteed. All right. The scriptures do not lie. The scriptures don't lie. Okay. Let me get this precept next. Book of Matthew, 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 22. Let me see quick. Yeah. Okay. So this is Matthew 6 and 22. Yahweh Shai is speaking. The light, where it is, here it is. The light of the body is the eye. If there thine eye be single, thy whole body should be full of light. You know, what does it mean by your eye being single? Focus solely on this truth, being locked in, tunnel vision. Knowing that the light at the end of the hole is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and not a bag, not zeros in your bank account. That's carnal. Me personally, I keep my eyes single. I stay focused on the truth, but you know, we have personal lives. You know, it's not saying, you know, to not have a personal life, but it's saying, you know, to be locked into the truth, to put the truth first. You know? And I'm telling you, everything else is going to be added. Okay? Verse 23. But if thy eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. You know, and you got let me get more of this. It says, if therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? You know, because you got these false prophets that think they're actually doing the right thing. That's a super darkness. You know, they in a hell of a confused state. Got a legion of demons on them. They think they're doing the right thing. You know, ex members that broke off. Okay, the evil eye. You know, one in filthy lucre's sake. All right, I'm gonna charge you $500 for a name. You know, and I'm not trying to go off topic on the lesson, just getting this part, but you know, the main thing is keeping your eyes single and focusing on the truth, and not having an evil eye, not being in the truth for the wrong reasons. Okay, keep your eyes single. Put your all into Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and the Lord's gonna give you things that money can't buy you, and that's immortality. Immortality. Can you go to Ontario Mills and say, I want to buy one immortality to go? Okay. Can you go to a Cheesecake Factory and say, I want to buy one eternal life to go? Can you go anywhere and say that? You can't. Can you go to a science lab and say, I want to buy a new body? You can't. How I know? Esau done tried it. You know, Esau and his comrades, they all try that shit. Okay? The only person that can turn you into a god is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. The only person that can bring you peace is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? The Lord is going to wipe away our tears, and he's going to finally give us rest when he cracks some clouds. You know? Lord's with us was an edifying lesson. With that, I'm going to say shalom.